Dragonfolk, you're not going to believe it. We get to open new product today. That's right, Dragonfolk. I've tricked you. Unfinity. We're opening a draft box of this bad boy today. So I always said that after making my several videos, that I just don't care about Unfinity. Well, Colin, again, the man, the myth, the legend himself, has decided to ease my suffering. And instead of me never opening Unfinity ever at all, I'm going to open it. So we got this bad boy in. We did a little pre-order for it. So now we have our Unfinity draft booster box for Colin. So thank you again, Colin, for giving me the opportunity to open this. This little bad boy, we're going to open to the end because I like having that surprise. So Unfinity, this comes with, oh God, what was it? 24? Does it come in 24 or 20? Let me see. I don't know where it says. 36. Cool. There are 36 packs in here. Now, Unfinity, normally, I go over the set and what it does and the general noise for it and kind of what it means as a set. With this set being so new, there's not a whole lot of history to it, right? This sucker just came out, like just recently. So it is kind of neat to see that we have an opportunity to open this. So thank you so much, Colin. We're going to go ahead and try and get some Shocklands for you. So Unfinity, for those of you who don't know, and apparently a lot of people don't, according to, Facebook pages and so on and so forth, a lot of people don't know that Unfinity is not all tournament legal. I'm going to go ahead and just explain this for all of you who do not understand. This card, Plot Armor, has a little acorn stamp down there at the bottom. You see that? That guy right there tells me that card is not tournament legal. This guy, on the other hand, though, does not have an acorn stamp, which means that this card is tournament legal. In Eternal formats only. It's only for Eternal formats. So, with that in mind, that's what we're going to be looking for, right? We're going to be looking for cards that are, one, going to be very, very good in things like Commander, such as like Saw in Half, any of the legendary creatures that are pretty good in there, and also some good ticket cards. There are a couple extra fun cards in here too, so I'm excited to check these out. The Big Top, this is one of those fun cards. Check that out. Add 1 mana of any color that appears on your top. A top is an outerwear garment worn on the upper body. So your shirt determines what color of mana you get out of this. Pretty fun little thing. I like that. Clown Car for our first rare in there. And then, of course, these bad boys, these full art lands, I tell you. These are going in their own pile, because how could you not? And then you have these attractions. These attractions are the first thing we'll go over. These are essentially the first mechanic of Unfinity. They're artifacts that you just put out, but you have to visit them. And depending on what you roll, essentially, I think it's rolling a d6 or something. That's when you visit an attraction. I'm not entirely too sure how the attractions work off the top of my head, but there are some fun ones there. They're all kind of different in their own way. There are a lot of copies of the same ones, but for instance, this one is actually a rare, but it is legal in Eternal formats. Visit, choose target creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn, except it isn't legendary if the chosen creature is legendary. That's pretty cool, actually. That's a neat little attraction, and seeing that played in Commander is probably going to be pretty crazy. Then, of course, we have Step Right Up for the foil, a token, which will go probably over here, And then our sticker sheet. So for those of you who don't know, or those of you who are watching this in the future, this is a sticker sheet. It's very flimsy, it's not really the same card stock, it seems. But these stickers can essentially be removed. You can peel these stickers off. I'm going to use this as an example. Colin, don't kill me. But you can peel these stickers off of here. Maybe, if I am capable of doing such a thing. There we go. You can peel them off, and you can also stick them right back on. So that's what they're meant to be used for, is they can be taken off and put back on. You also have name stickers up here. That's kind of a cool little thing. And you can just change the abilities depending on the amount of tickets. You can change the effect of a creature, or add an effect more specifically. You can change the power and toughness of a creature based on that too. So there's a lot of really fun things. Unfinity is not a normal set that most people would get, because, well, strictly saying, Unfinity is for fun. A lot of people use these in their uncubes, as well as anything else kind of fun and silly. So, there you go, a mythic opening ceremony. This one is acorn stamped, so not tournament legal, but this is kind of the fun stuff you can do, right? You can add Wooburg in a colorless. You may open a sealed magic booster pack. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among the cards in that booster pack. So it's just weird, silly stuff. I love the craziness of Unfinity. It's just definitely, this is really the real reason why a lot of people buy unsets, is these lands. These lands provide a lot of really, really good, good looking basics for just about everybody. So got more tokens there. All right. Making our way downtown. So now that you guys have a general idea, there's a few cards in here that are actually going to be kind of fun to use in Eternal. Mark Rosewater did say that a lot of these cards, while they are available to be used in Legacy, are not actually going to be very viable in Legacy. So we'll see how that works out. This is Omniclown Colossus for rare, that beautiful plains. I wonder where the what do you call it? The Shockland slot is. Because apparently you're able to get a decent amount of shocks out of a draft booster box. And although they're not going to be anything crazy, like they're not going to be Galaxy Foil, because you can't get Galaxy Foils in this set, they are available. Look at these things. These things are beautiful. They're just beautiful. These lands are going to go for a pretty penny, that's for sure. Oh, a foil spinny ride. Cute. Tap target creature and opponent controls. Okay. Neat. And then clown robot. And these also have this little telling you what it does, right? How to play these, right? So go ahead and check this out. That kind of allows you to know how you're going to play your cards in limited formats, such as a draft, or as constructed formats, such as Commander, or even, what do you call it? Commander, or Legacy, or Vintage, right? Those are the Eternal formats. Now, technically Pauper is also an Eternal format, if I recall correctly. So I don't know whether or not these are going to be available in Pauper, the ones that are available in Eternal formats to be available in Pauper as well. You're going to have to let me know in the comments. Or I should just do more research, I guess, in regards to this. But regardless, you figure it out. But there's a lot of just weird cards in here, right? I mean, a lot of very crazy. Usually it's the rares and mythics that have some of the wildest text. And a lot of it is just, it's all about fun. The set's all about having fun. And, getting your friends together for a draft. Doodle, caricaturist. And it's definitely just an interesting time, right? Compared to the rest of Magic the Gathering that's very serious and so on and so forth. Super duper lost. And a squirrel toad. Look at that squirrel. There's also a lot of squirrels. The unsets tend to be filled with squirrels. So let's go ahead and continue our adventures through Unfinity. And I made several videos in which I personally was like, oh, I don't really care too much about Unfinity. And to be fair, that's a lie. I mean, I do care about Unfinity. But what I don't care so much about is that it needed to happen. I figure they could have saved this for a time when we aren't drowning in sets. Soul Performer for a rare. Look at these. Just look at these lands, though. These lands alone are going to go for a pretty penny, and these aren't even foil. Like, they're going to be very good. Clown, Tunnel, and those guys. So, it's... The unsets are normally for the lands, right? Which I totally understand. I mean, you're opening an entire booster box, and you're getting some pretty cool-looking space lands, or Spacek lands, as they called them in the reveal. But Celebrate 1000, you're getting a lot of Boros Clowns. Boros Clown seems to have probably been a pretty good draft for you. I guess that's what Mark Rosewater drafted in Unfinity, was Boros Clowns, because clowns are an archetype in here. Oh. But it's a fun, I don't know, like, it's fun. I get it, right? Clowning around. I mean, you have fun little cards. This card, like, look at this card. This is a funny card. Until end of turn, target non-brushwag creature gets +1/+1 for each super type, card type, and subtype it has. So this specifically does not target brushwags, which is just really weird. There's a lot of these very weird cards, and I think like a fourth of the set or something is Eternal legal. So you're just going to have to look out for that little acorn stamp down there. That's what makes it not legal in regular play. But they're available for play in just like a fun little cube, right? For when you're just palling around with your friends, right? This is one of those sets. And when Colin was talking about it, you know, he was like, well, I wanted to get some stuff done to, you know, promote the channel and really kind of make... really kind of show off a lot of the stuff in regards to some of the new stuff that I can be able to actually, what do you call it? That I can actually review. I am going to zoom this in a little bit more. It's going to be a lot easier for all of you to look at these cards. This is apparently one that a lot of people were very much so weirded out by. They were happy this wasn't in Eternal. At Forest, though, we have yet to pull a shock. We've yet to pull a shock from this, which is concerning, but... Oh, look at this. What is this? At the beginning of your upkeep, you may fold this token in half. And there's just a bunch of them. And then if you, at the beginning of your upkeep, fold it in half. What happens if you fold it in half like this? And you just don't get the idea behind that. What a weird token. Does it get stronger every time you fold it? Yeah, it looks like it. It's like a 12/12 right there. That's crazy. It's just weird. There's like a lot of weird stuff. I mean, I'm all for it being weird. I think weird is, you know, fun. But the reason I didn't like the idea behind Unfinity is mainly it's just its time of release. I feel like its time of release was not good. I figured they could have held off on this. Vorthos, Steward of Myth. It's a mythic. Enters the battlefield. Choose a named magic character. Each spell you cast with the chosen character in its name, flavor text, or art costs Wooburg less to cast. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana you may pay. Pretty good for a mythic. It's too bad it's not able to be used in Commander, because that could definitely get a lot of work done. So, Colin, you're going to get a lot of these attractions. But I think Colin wanted to open this because mainly, well, Colin has an uncube. And cubes are essentially just fun little things to emulate a draft off of. Oh, there you go. The Most Dangerous Gamer. That is a card that is legal in Eternal formats. So that's pretty neat. We have a mountain. I am really concerned we don't have any shocks yet, though. We are 1/3 of the way through the box. Obviously, the box topper, for those of you who don't know, is going to be a shock land, so you're at least going to be getting one. But you'd think there'd be another one hiding deep within here. So, yeah, like I said, it's just kind of a fun little game. Treacherous Trapezist. There's one. There we go. A watery grave. Beautiful. We love to see those. I'll take a look at this watery grave for a second here. Man, cover the spot. Another attraction. Some treasures. Let's just take another look at this watery grave. Look at this. It's not even foil. And it's just so dang beautiful. I don't know how to grasp this. It's just beautiful. These shock lands are going to be... There's a lot of talk amongst this set being both good and bad, right? Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to punch the mic there. The set is going to be good because you get shock lands onto the market, right? You're at least guaranteed one shock a box. So it's, you're guaranteed to get something good. Oh, Leela, Hospitality Hostess. There you go. That is for the mythic pile. Go ahead and just leave our other guys over here. But for the most part, I think it's, I think it's just kind of okay. The amount of shocks being put into the market are insignificant, I guess, but they're enough to the point where they matter, right? You can't deny the fact that these shocks going into the market are going to be absolutely great, but they are going to be very specific to the set, right? You're not going to be able to find a shock in this art probably ever again, I would say. And that is going to actually probably bring the price of these specific ones up a lot comparatively, because if it's the only place you could get them and nobody opened Unfinity because nobody could afford it, or it just was a fun set that didn't actually matter in regards to casual play or the meta, right? Because this is the epitome of casual play, right? But it's just not, I don't know, it's just not all there, I guess. And I understand if people don't like the casual formats, right? I'm not big of a casual player myself, but I do know that there is fun to be had in Magic, and I do believe that as long as you make it fun, it'll be fun. Because that's what it's all about. And something like this, I could only imagine drafting this is going to be the craziest thing, right? You get these really beautiful lands. You get all these attractions that you have to look through. You've got crazy, what is this? What's this? As an additional cost to cast this spell, choose A through M or N through Z. Destroy each creature whose name begins with a letter in the chosen range. Crazy. It's just there's a lot of really weird stuff. And I would imagine drafting this, or even just using the stuff for cubes, right? Cubes are just a way for you to emulate drafts, essentially. So even just using them for cubes are going to be a fun little, thing to do. There's just going to be fun aspects to the game that most aren't ever going to see anywhere else besides here. Killer Cosplay. Another mythic. You're killing these mythics here. A lot of mythics. No shock. Not a lot of shocks, though. But we do have one. We have one shock. So that's honestly, even if we just walk away with 2 shocks, probably a pretty good box, considering these shocks are going for $30 a piece, right? If we can get 3 shocks, look at this card, by the way. Xeno Squirrels. Alien Squirrel. It's going to go great in a Golgari Squirrel deck. Enter the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. After you roll a die, you may remove a +1/+1 counter from Xeno Squirrels. If you do, increase or decrease the result by 1. It's wild. There's just so many crazy cards, and this squirrel is legal in the Eternal formats. So you're going to be able to play something like that. Katarina of Myra's Marvels. Okay, so that's our rare there. Island, Kitty Coaster, Bumper Cars, Aerial Elephant. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Enters the battlefield, you get a ticket, then you may put a sticker on a non-land permanent you own. Interesting. Very, very basic effect, although it's a flying elephant, so can't really say that it's a bad time, right? But hopefully you guys like this, you know, let me know whether or not you guys actually enjoyed this set. I mean, I'm nowhere near done opening it, but I am very much so excited to kind of see. I think the only thing that really excites me out of this is the shocks, though, if I'm being entirely honest. These showcase arts are kind of cool, though. I do like these, right? Getting these little guys in their showcase arts. Whoops. So that's a rare. But overall, I think it's just kind of, for me, as somebody who does not often get the chance to, quote unquote, have fun in Magic, the set is, I would like to draft it at some point in my day. I may get a draft box to draft in the future, but for right now, we're going to let Colin enjoy his cards and hopefully walk out of here with some pretty good stuff. And the addition of stickers, I also need to be extremely aware, I need to make a PSA, I should say, that there are some people who play their game without sleeves, right? You play Magic the Gathering without sleeves. You're doing it wrong if you're playing it without sleeves, but there are some people who do play it without sleeves. If you are playing without sleeves and your card is a foil, the stickers tend to affect the foil. So keep that in mind when you are playing Magic the Gathering and you are putting a sticker on a foil card. More specifically, it looks like the foil etched cards are really the worst. They get the worst of it. But just keep that in mind. Don't do that. It's not good for your cards. It will never be good for your cards. And frankly, you're ruining your cards by doing that. You should always be using sleeves, and you won't get in trouble for using stickers on your sleeves. So just keep that in mind. But I am curious how many of you play Unfinity. I mean, how many of you actually have an uncube? Right? That's something that seems like it'd be fun to get. Lifetime pass holder, a swamp. Yeah, these lands alone, I think, are going to be probably the big kicker out of all this, which is wild. Because, like, I'm assuming these lands are probably going to go for upwards of maybe like $2 or something, maybe a little bit more, depending on the foil or not. But it is definitely it's one of the reasons why people actually even open the set. So a lot of fun with the swamp, a lot of fun with the different versions of these basic lands too, because you get them in two different kinds, right? So like, just look at this. So this is a planetary land. This is supposed to be this planet from the planetary view, and this is an orbital land. This orbital basic land is the same planet from here, except from orbit. So kind of a fun little thing they did to kind of make it more flavor filled in regards to the lands. Usually the lands do resemble the flavor of the set. And of course, this being in space, that does make sense that you would make them space themed. There's that main event horizon again. Forest, costume shop, merry-go-round, and some squirrels. I gotta say, though, you know, the addition of stickers into Legacy, I don't play Legacy, and I don't know how many of you are going to be using these cards in your commander decks. That's also something I'd like to learn. You know, do you have a card from this set that you're definitely going to be putting in your commander deck? Tug of War. The mythic. What do you do? What is this thing? Players play a sub-game starting at 5 life, and with up to 3 permanent cards with different names from their main game library on the battlefield. As the sub-game ends, the winner chooses one of the cards they put onto the battlefield as the sub-game began and puts it into the battlefield rather than shuffling it into their library. Very interesting. There's a lot of like manipulation of the board state when it comes to Unfinity and just unsets in general. There's a lot of manipulation of the board state. So it is absolutely something that is just... There's just so many wild things for this. I mean, there's just so much to look into. Space Family Goblinson. This is a card that a lot of people were very excited to see. Space Family Goblinson is trample as long as you've rolled 3 or more dice this turn. Whenever you roll a die, put a +1/+1 counter on Space Family Goblinson. AFR introduced a lot of goblins that are in red, and green also does sometimes have goblin support. So that is pretty cool. Space Family Goblinson definitely going to get some play, I'd imagine, in goblin, or like, what do you call it? Gruul goblin decks. So we're coming down to the last few packs here, but I'm going to take this time for Colin to, of course, be as generous as he is. And this pack, with a giant roller line down the middle, how that even happened, I have no idea. Are they on all of them? They are on all of them. That's so interesting. Well, this pack will go ahead and go into our vault. So, of course, our vault, if you don't know, we're going to be giving away a bunch of packs at the 1,000 subscriber mark. So let's go ahead and push ourselves there and make that happen. So that way you get a whole plethora. I'm not sure how I'm going to give away the packs yet. I want to add some other spice of my own, specifically for patrons, as well as for subscribers. So keep your eye out for that. Hopefully we'll get there. And oh, there he is. Space Balerin. Look at that. I almost chose this pack too. Space Balerin. That's the mythic. This one's going to be real weird. It's a weird card. I don't think many people are going to run Space Balerin, but I don't know, honestly. Space Balerin is from what I've heard, there's a lot of people who are going to rule 0 Space Balerin. It's probably going to be a lot of people who are going to rule 0 all the cards from Unfinity, but that could just be me, right? All right, Claire de Lune, Joy Sculptor, Bam, Swampy, Dart Throw, Choke Elemental. You're getting a lot of these foil rares though, which is nice. It is good to see the rare foils, because at least you have that, right? I mean, the cool part about a set not being opened as much, or at least, you know, having the threat of essentially not being opened as much, means that there's a borderless card back here. I see it. Oh, wait, there's always a borderless card in here. What am I talking about? Bam! I want it to be a land. So I wanted it to be a shock so bad. But with the set not being opened as much, probably due to the fact that it's not actually like a strategical thing, and this is just kind of like a fun party game, you're probably not going to see a lot of these cards on the market. And because of that, you're going to see a lot of, oh yeah, baby, look at that stuff. That's Steam Vents. Let's go. 2 shocks down in the thing, and a Petra Crafter of Clowns foil. That was a good pack. Good pack. We've got 3 packs left. What do you think? You're technically walking away with 3 shocks right now. So hopefully one of these shocks is in your colors. Hopefully multiples of these shocks are in your colors, because that would be really, really cool. Photo Op, another mythic. These mythics are getting out of hand, I got to tell you. There are so many. So many mythics in here. You've got, what, 7 mythics and 2... you got 7 mythics. Whoop. You got 7 mythics and 2 shocklands so far. No foil shocks, though, which is a little unfortunate. But, you know, the odds are probably pretty low. So, Ignacio of Mira's Marvels. Then a Mountain. Drop Tower. All right, last pack. Let's go. What do we think? Need all your love. Let's bring it forward for Colin. Colin, this one's for you, man. You're going to be getting it. Packs are also extremely easy to open. Did I mention? They mentioned they're like incredibly easy to open. It's really strange. Not in like a bad way. Obviously, nobody picked through these because I got Shocklands, but Pretty good. Surprise Party, Island, and that looks to be it. So now we got the box topper. So let's figure out to see what kind of, excuse me while I get this thing off of here. These things have that glue on it. That is very, very not okay. I may even just get some scissors and try to open this. Okay, so I cut this thing up here, right? I made sure to not get the card because these are incredibly hard to get out, and I definitely don't want to ruin this. All right, what do we got? A breeding pool. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Goodness gracious. These are just so pretty. I mean, I can't even explain. Has the light been too much this whole time? Probably has been. Just look at how beautiful this is. Dang. So you've got yourself quite a haul here from this box alone. You've got a breeding pool, a watery grave, and steam vents. It seems like blue is absolutely the theme of this box. So congratulations for all of those. And then, of course, you've got yourself so many mythics. Unfortunately, because a lot of these cards are just like not legal in other formats, you're not going to see a lot of good price on these. Space Balearian may go for a little bit, but I think probably most of these, considering their acorn, are not going to see any actual love on the market. But they are good for your uncube. That is what I like a lot. So, Colin, I hope you enjoyed this opening. I hope you enjoy your giant stack of borderless lands. All these bad boys go into you. And then, of course, on top of all that, you're also getting your borderless shocks. So, thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate your support. And Colin, I appreciate your support a lot for allowing me to open Unfinity for the first time and probably the last, unless anybody else wants to open Unfinity here in the channel. You can always go ahead and join our Patreon in the description down below. That is how we go about discussing me getting some deals and discounts for everybody who is a patron. So feel free to check that out, and maybe you can get your box opened here on the channel as well. But while you're down in the comments letting me know about all your cool Unfinity stuff and whether or not you're going to make a cube, or whether or not you've drafted this and you've really enjoyed the draft, or maybe you hated the draft, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already. And I will see you all very soon. Nerd out.